Welcome to the Open Books Podcast, where we discuss all things going on in the real estate industry, helping you take the road less traveled to real estate success. That is right. Okay, let's start over.
I was like, people probably are like, when is the podcast starting?
Yeah. Because it was all silent, and then you started and bingo.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do it. Okay. So
Awkward silence. Make a noise.
Now we're starting over. Everyone clear their throats. Good? Okay. Welcome to the Open Books Podcast, where we discuss all things going on in the real estate industry, helping you take the road less traveled to real estate success, guiding you to the top 10%. I'm here with my co-host, Casey Tudor and Brooke Massey, and myself, Curtis Haddock.
Good job.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
I've been doing it ever since, but we learned that we don't release these episodes in order. So if you are a follower and know that I was supposed to be doing this for a few weeks ago, I just know
You've been doing it since.
Yeah, I've been doing it since. And you guys will find out. You already know because probably the other episodes have been released, and this is silly. So,
or they're watching this one and they're like, "What is this guy talking?"
Yeah, I know, right? If we release this one first before the other ones. Anyways, good morning.
Hi.
It's good to be here with you guys. I always enjoy my time with you and our discussions on the real estate industry. Do you guys feel the same?
Yeah,
I do.
Okay, good,
This is like our time that we get together and we get to just hang out.
It's like the only time of the week, where we can like talk and discuss things, and
then we record it and we post it for the world to see. So that could be good or dangerous.
Yeah, you never know. It really kind of is the only time where the three of us are like, together.
All we need is 1 million followers. Why have billions when you could have millions?
Well, a great way to go get millions it would be.
Great segue.
I love it. It would be our topic today: income producing activities in real estate.
Income producing activities, or I like to call them money making activities,
or IPAs.
Or IPAs.
Ooh.
Or MMAs.
What's an MMA?
Money making activity.
IPA is like the beer.
I know, that's why I liked it.
Do you know what IPA stands for?
Like for the beer?
Yeah.
Indian or Indy Pale Ale.
India Pale Ale. Do you know why it's called that?
No, because it was made in Indy.
No. So they they used to transport beer around the coast of India, and they would have to keep adding hops to it to keep it fresh.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense.
You didn't know that?
And that's why that style is real hoppy.
I just consume the craft beer. Casey has
Don't you
brewed
hate when people do that?
beer.
I didn't know it either.
I
I'm just messing with you.
I was like, you don't even drink.
Yeah, I had no idea. But now we can tell you guys to comment on what acronym you like better, IPA or MMA, because MMA is our faithful UFC fighters out there, you know? I wonder which one's going to win.
I like IPAs with some MMA. We could keep going. I feel like for like a while.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So,
what is it? Income? Define it.
I don't think people know what it is. I think they know, but that they don't know.
Or they just
think.
Or they get confused and they think something else is an income producing activity and other things are not.
Well, it's the grass is always greener situation that comes into play. I think with everything in real estate, you always think it's going to be easier if you do it a different way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that, and I also think that people are looking for easy work. They want to make money and do by doing the things that don't make you money. I mean, the things that aren't money-making activities, those are jobs, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you hire people to do the jobs. Not that that's a bad thing, because we absolutely need it. In fact, we have to hire people to do some of those jobs, or else we'd be responsible for all of it. But if you are trying to build a business or produce, if you're in sales, then you really need to know what your income producing activities are and stick with those. In fact, I can't remember what book this is from, so it's from me. But you have to, when you look at your income, let's say you've made some sales over the last couple of years, look at where those where those sales came from. Okay. Like what activities did you do to get those sales, to get the results? And
That's
you need
important.
and you need to spend, I would say, 80% of your time focused on those activities alone. Right. And I think that the opposite tends to be true, is that people spend, they try to do everything, and in real estate, you can be pulled in so many different directions, and people try to become experts at all of it to the point where it's like now you're not efficient at anything because you're being pulled in so many directions. I think you should try everything kind of early on, and as you get good at certain things, that's why I feel like one or two activities that once you to find out what those two activities are that you're really good at, that should be 80% of your effort should be spent on that.
A lot of people forget too, like this is if not our number one job as a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
You own a business. It doesn't matter if it's real estate or whatever, like you have to do high impact tasks that directly benefit your bottom line or your bottom dollar.
And I think that it's difficult for people to do that because of how society has framed like work and income and making money. And we're so used to getting paid for clocking in and clocking out. Like we feel like, in fact, there's a deal in Texas that one of our agents is dealing with, and it's a listing that they're going to get. The seller is firing an agent from another brokerage. This agent had the listing for 2 years. Okay, never put it on the MLS. Okay. I mean, I really don't understand how that's even possible. But this agent apparently has spent tons of time, trying to sell this house. But to me, it's like she was trying to sell it, like get both sides or something. She did the seller a huge disservice by not getting it onto the MLS. Yeah. And so in her defense, she said that she was trying to, help the seller get the house ready so that it could go on the MLS. Well, how come it took 2 years?
Yeah.
Right?
What?
So anyways, she's getting fired. She's trying to not release the listing because she wants $15,000. She wants to collect her commission. And we have an agent here that's an attorney, and we're using that to our advantage. And basically she's saying, hey, you can talk to my attorney. We'll pay for $1,000 because those are the things that you actually paid for my listing and some of the things that you've done. She went ahead and sent the money. And at any rate, this agent is complaining and saying, do you really believe the effort that I put in these last couple of years that I don't deserve any money for it? And I was appalled that she even asked that question, because in you signed the listing agreement. It says you get paid when the house closes, when it sells, right? It doesn't say you get paid for spending this many hours on it or for your time. You get paid for results. And
she should have written it that way if that's what she had wanted.
That's what I said to the seller. And I'm like, and I also was like, I just couldn't believe some of the things she was saying to the seller. She even told the seller, like, do you work for free at your job? Like, so unprofessional. I'm not going to get into the professionalism of that. However, there's not a job in the world where you can have a job for 2 years and not do the job
and they get paid.
And still get paid.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to get fired if you don't deliver results for 2 years.
If you need a place, I probably know a couple.
Right. My point is that the mindset of people is, if I show up, I deserve to get paid. And if you want to make more money in sales, then that you have to throw that mindset completely out of the window, because
you have to come in from a service standpoint.
100%.
Because you're serving people, and if you lead with that first and stop leading with money, the agents that lead with money and calculate the deal and stuff before they even get a listing agreement or a contract signed, usually those are the agents that fail.
Yeah, and they're worried about like, how much time is this going to take me, and should I even get pictures and this and that, and
It's
instead
like-
of just doing what you're supposed to do.
Just do what you're supposed to do. Read the contracts that you're making your client sign, understand it, and just perform. If you just do that, you will get paid. And then also too, you won't be stressed out about money
Right.
because you're leading with service. And so you're getting filled up by serving this person and this person and this person and
Yep.
this person. And then your bank account blows up.
Yeah, and we should only get paid for results because it's a commission only job. When you sign up for commission only, you know you're signing up for it. So that means you have to get the sale in order to get paid. If
I
you
have
want
a-
it differently, well, then you need to do a job that pays you for your time.
I have a for sale by owner that Jennifer and I are converting right now. And we went on the appointment last week sometime. Got him photos. So we've paid for photos. We got a listing agreement. And so he's very particular about this, and this. So Jennifer and I have already put in a ton of work up front. We've done the listing. We've done all the paperwork. We've done photos. We've even put money into this, and we still don't have it officially signed yet. And that's kind of part of the game.
Yeah.
So not every single deal. This one particular is just a funny deal, but
you're taking a calculated risk based on your interaction with the customer. Normally, I wouldn't shell out any money until I have a signed agreement, but there are some people that then they won't sign the agreement if you don't do it the way they want.
We don't.
You know,
photos are a big thing for us because we've gotten burned on photos,
100%.
and they're expensive.
With your interactions with somebody, you can take a calculated risk in that. The point is, again, though, is what I say this time and time again, and I say this when I get fired or like I just had a deal bust, right? Well, we didn't get to the closing table, so I am not expecting my commission until I find another buyer and sell the house. I mean, it happens to all of us. We get paid for results. We don't get paid for clocking in and clocking out. In fact, when people look at real estate and they think that some agents make too much money, well, it's because there's a 90% fail rate. And the reason why the fail rate is so high is because people want to get paid for their time and not for results. And the people that understand I'm going to get paid for results, they make a lot more because they're going out and getting the results.
I had a dude, he was like freaking out that he was going to like lose his house because he didn't have any money. And so like, I even tried to say, hey, you know, we should maybe look at refinancing if you really want to keep your house. And so like we had talked to the lender and then kind of decided. So I like worked with this guy and then he's like, let's do it. Let's sell it. And then, dude, I was leaving his house in the driveway after pictures and he texted me. He says, sorry, man, I can't list this house. I just left his house from photos.
Dang.
Like, so he already knew when I showed up and he didn't have the guts to tell me.
Did he pay you back for the
No,
photos?
he didn't pay me for the photos. He didn't have any money. That was the problem.
Man.
So, but it's like I told Elizabeth, you know, with Eliora Media, because last week she was coming to, and she just like randomly asked me, she's like, because I told them my clients are being weird. She's like, well, did they sign the listing agreement? I'm like, well, no, not yet. But she's like, well, do we want to wait? And I'm like, no, because I was like, I want to push it forward. And if I get the pictures taken, they're more likely to go ahead and move forward. You know, and they did. And there wasn't really a problem, but it was just, it's just one of those things. Like, I told him, like, worst case scenario, I pay you $200 and I support my photographer.
Right.
That's my worst case.
Yeah, but there are people out there that wouldn't look at it that way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
You got to
they wouldn't take that risk.
You got to keep your vendors happy, man. Because being a good realtor is having good vendors. And if you start burning them and canceling them all the time, they're going to be less likely to want to, go the extra for you. But if they know that you paid them and didn't even get a listing from it, they're more likely to squeeze you in.
Oh yeah,
Or,
100%.
you know,
and go
get
over
your pictures
beyond.
faster or whatever.
When you do have those moments with good clients that need something right away, 100%.
Well, you have to. Everyone's heard the phrase, you have to spend money to make money. And a lot of people that they think that has to do with just like going out and buying like leads and stuff, but it's actually not. Like, that's only a fraction of what you could spend your money on to make money. You can spend money on so many more effective things than just leads to grow and build your business. Like,
Oh, I like this.
you know,
Let's kinda go into-
assistance. And so, yeah. So before we do that, actually, can you pull up on your phone? I would like to pull up some examples. Can you pull up like, can you unlock? I don't have my phone. Can you unlock it and go to like Google or something for me real quick?
Yeah, I can unlock it and go to Google.
Thanks,
I can do
man.
that for you.
Thanks, buddy. Or Brooke. You know, either
What
one
do you
of
want?
you. I can't tell you. I got to search for something that I can't do that on my phone.
What
I'm
does
just kidding.
that
I'm
mean?
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
This sounds like a setup.
Yeah. No.
Would you rather?
All right. Hold on. All right. We're gonna do.
You're one of those people that goes to google.com before you
I am.
Google
I don't.
something.
It's so anal for me, and
I prefer
can't.
to Google things on Yahoo.
My wife will go,
I do it because I also like to see the articles that pop up, and I read a lot, like because they actually
Oh.
feed you what you're interested in. So
Okay,
all
that
my
makes
sports
sense.
teams, I get all my updates on it. So I'm just so used to doing it.
no, that makes sense.
And I don't like doing it in the search bar either. For some reason it doesn't seem right. Even though I've tested it and it works just fine, and I'm like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. So,
My
yeah.
wife will get on, and then she'll go to Bing, because she doesn't even go to Google. She'll go to bing.com and then she'll just search. She doesn't have any articles that she looks at or anything.
Let's do it like this. I'm gonna search for.
I think my thing for income producing activities and calling leads is like, you know, agents that I think are looking at leads are agents who aren't going to call them anyways, because they're going to realize that they're not really free and they're just as difficult as anything else. So why would you? So basically, there's Zillow teams, right, that go out there and they crush it with Zillow, but they would crush it on any income producing activity they choose, because they get the concept and what they need to do.
It's still talking to people. I always say define a lead, because a lead over here that you bought, or a FSBO or an expired, a lead's a lead. You still have to call them. You still have to convert them. You still have to sell yourself. So it's all the same thing. But there's plenty of free leads out there. You could go knock on your next door neighbor's house, and that's a lead. And so,
Right.
and that's free. So I forgot where I was going with that, but I think a lot of people forget about that.
I think with income producing activities, you need to choose 3 or 4, and whatever those are, you need to try to master them, because you cannot, you're most likely not gonna build a business on just open houses,
No.
or just. Well, you could do it on. You're more than likely to do it on just for sale by owners, because there's more of them, and you can do it Monday through, Sunday through Saturday. But you need to be able to just figure out different avenues and always kind of keep 3 or 4 of those activities in the pipeline, and they can change. So maybe you master for sell by owners, so you're converting them, you're doing well with them, you're getting leads from those listings, they're buying houses, and then you do open houses, and you start getting really good at these, and you pick up one buyer a weekend or a couple buyers every other week. And then you decide, well, maybe I'll start hitting the Zillow leads, and you have an income coming in that can pay for those leads. And, now you're building up another income stream. So all the successful people I see out there, that's what they're doing. They're doing at least 3 or 4 different ones.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. Every time I talk to different top producers out there, they're like, yeah, I just got this from a FSBO. Or they got this from so-and-so, or someone referred this. It's always multiple different places, because you have to learn how to differentiate your business and attack multiple sides of this. I always joke, I'm like, I would hate to be a lender, because they can only focus on buyers, right? And so when it's a seller's market, I'm over here still winning while I see some lenders struggle, right? Mm-hmm. So there's multiple different ways that you can go after, and our market is constantly changing. It goes up, it goes down, it goes from a seller's market to a buyer's market to this market to a COVID 2020 insane market. You just don't ever know. And so the more you know and learn and understand these income producing activities, that's how you build a strong business, because you're always going to be able to make money no matter what.
Well,
Yeah.
I couldn't find what I was looking for. I wanted to find a list where and I know it's out there. I should have looked it up before, but it was there's a list you can look at, and you have to decide, is this income producing or non-income producing?
Oh.
And to define the income and non-income, and then we can come up with examples on our own to see kind of what we think. But income producing and tasks, any task that is generating revenue for your business, tasks that can only be managed by you, not easily outsourced, should be main focus in the business. Non-income is tasks that can be easily and affordably outsourced, tasks that are necessary but do not earn money for the business. So that's key there. Necessary but don't earn money.
I got one.
Okay, so give an example, and we'll have to, don't tell if it's income or non-income.
I'm going to ask you guys.
Okay.
Is writing a contract income producing or not?
It's not.
Yeah, most people would say that that is income producing, but it's not income producing.
Why?
Because you can easily outsource that and have someone.
You already have the business. It's moving forward.
Yeah, it's paperwork. Paperwork is not income producing. You want to
to me, those activities,
generating leads is your main.
Getting a
source.
commitment from a buyer or seller saying we want to proceed with you in some fashion, writing a contract, listing a home. Those are income.
If you could always reach out to someone in the office, a coordinator, an assistant, and say, "Hey, can you prepare this contract for me?" and then send it out for signature.
That's a task.
Yeah, that's tasks. Yeah, 100%. Then let's say, what about? Let's say here's one: organizing your CRM.
That's another task. That's not.
Yep, that's another task. But
sometimes that one's hard to hire out.
What about a top of mind post?
Once you train them, though, then that's something. Anything like it's going to require training. It's just it's going to be finding the time to train somebody to do it. But like using your CRM, like making calls, doing the follow up, and things like that.
Sending out lead or landing pages and things like that.
That would be money making activity.
Yeah, because it's a networking.
Yeah, but you could also hire that out too.
Sure.
You said top of mind.
That's smart. Yeah.
The top of mind.
Top of mind post. Yeah.
That could be. I could be almost both. I think it'd be more long term though.
Well, that's okay.
I think than immediate. Well, it could happen. It could get some immediate business from.
Well, remember. Well, just because it's long term doesn't mean it's not income. So you got to look at it like this: if we take the 4 income producing activities that we generally teach our agents, and the reason we teach these 4 is because they actually work, and you're getting in front of buyers and sellers that need to buy or sell within the next 1 month to 6 months, maybe a year.
Buy or sell today.
You have your for sale by owners in your open houses, and that's your hunting. That's going out, dragging your food back to your family to feed in a relatively short term fashion. And then you've got networking, top of mind, or building a team. This is your farming. This is planting your seeds, and these are things that require a longer pipeline.
I would say I could see you can argue a top of mind post as either or. I would say it's more income producing because I think that it's hard to hire a top of mind post out because what you can hire out is generic posts.
Yes.
You can't hire out your personality. Mm-hmm. And I think when it comes to like social media and things like that,
if you do, you're paying a lot of money.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to get somebody who understands your industry and understands you and who you are. And not only that, they would have to follow you around if you were just posting about yourself. Now on a business page, that could be non-money making activity because you can hire that out and they just post listings and marketing and industry news and education and all that kind of stuff. That can be hired out. But top of mind on your personal page, to me, I would argue that's more money making, the networking piece.
Something I wish I would have tracked better was because there's a little Facebook post going around. The guy wrote some book or whatever that he's selling on his knowledge commerce stuff, and it's called "Call the Damn Leads." And I love it because
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, and I love the title of it because it's like, this is what I wish I'd have tracked. How many times have I sent out a post or a text to a client that I haven't talked to in 3 or 4 months, and just kind of, they kind of fell off or whatever. And I was like, hey, I was just thinking about you. I saw this house, or whatever it is. I try to re-engage, and they go, hey, funny that you called because we were just about to reach out to you.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, no way were you about to reach out to me.
No.
And this happens often,
Yeah.
which proves if I don't do those things, it would cost me a lot more money than I realize. Or what if I did it more?
Oh, I agree.
And which activity was this you were talking about?
I would just like reach out to someone randomly that I hadn't talked to in a while and say,
yeah.
hey, we were just thinking about you. And they
Here's
weren't.
one. Attending an event.
Definitely not an
Well,
income
what
producing
kind
activity.
of event?
No, that's income producing.
It is?
I'm
Like,
looking, oh yeah.
yeah.
That's networking, man. That's like, so this is saying income producing is anything that has to do with getting in front of people and networking and making connections. Everything is about connections. It actually says cold calling is non-income producing,
Interesting.
which Brooke has proven that with her business that you can make that non-income producing because she hires.
Oh,
it
I was
out.
like, wait, what?
I think
Yeah.
I think what we have to really understand here is what's in the gray area, because if you go to an event without, say, a plan or a poor plan, like if you're one of okay, so you hear people always complain about recruiters. Well, what they're getting is they learn some trick at a seminar and they come to you and this is the recent complaint I saw. Then this agent that saw this trick, they overuse it and they take their personality out of it. So then they're going, it's the use your name trick, right? So it's like, hey Casey, how's it going, Casey? Hey Casey, what do you think about the 4th bedroom? Casey, check out this backyard.
Sure.
And it's like all they
stop
were trying to
saying
get you to do was like just use their name,
Yeah.
but you overdid it. Or
Yes.
your approach is, hey, let me help you make more of your commissions. And it's like that just gets sleazy because like how can I make more of my commissions if I make 100% of my commission? I got a text the other day from someone saying, hey Casey, we've been tracking your sales and we really think that or we've been tracking you and seeing what you're doing in the community and with real estate, and we really think you'd be a good fit. And it's like, okay, well, do you track me enough to know that I'm a co-founder of my company and I'm probably
Right.
like why would you not have gone, hey Casey, I really appreciate what you're doing and see what you and Bricks are doing with your business.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to you need to have a plan to make sense of it. You don't just go to the seminar.
And
Yeah,
then
but
sit in the corner.
that doesn't make it not a money making activity. I think that the smart business thing to do would be to always have some sort of plan and to go with a goal in mind, and at the very least, like if you're new, like at trying something, like you get better the more experience that you get at doing it, and at the same time, what we teach is you got to have a mentor or a coach that you can go back to and say, hey, I went to this event, here's the things I did, here's what I said, or maybe they can go to the event with you and they can share feedback on how you interacted with people. But anything that has to do with like networking and making connections, to me, that makes sense as to why that is money making.
Yeah.
And then anything that you can outsource that is not necessarily getting in front of people, like the cold calling, can easily be hired out. And we could say it's a gray area, but at the end of the day, it really isn't, because
It's the number one thing that I have to do. Whether
Right,
I do
yeah.
it or I hire somebody.
But I think a lot of people use the excuse of they're afraid to spend that money, but if you do the math behind it,
it makes total
the
sense.
money making activity is you showing up at the appointment that the cold caller set.
I like that.
Because if you could spend your 8-hour day just going to appointments, how much money would you make?
Oh,
lot.
I would only have to do it like one day a week.
And if you're paying somebody minimum wage to make the calls for you, it's going to pay off tenfold, right? Because now you have way more appointments and you're doing way more than what you could be doing otherwise. A lot of people are hesitant to do that because of the money aspect, and it goes back to, it takes money to make money.
Oh
It
yeah.
does.
And so if you're new and you don't have like you're not making a ton of money, you don't have the confidence in your ability yet, well, it's you don't want to come out of the gates just hiring somebody.
Well-
Although I mean, if you did, you get a lot more experience. You probably sell a lot more.
I kind of argue with that because my first ever boss I ever had, and it's like ingrained into me, into what I do now. He hired me and he said, I'm going to make you learn a little bit of how to do everything. So make me wear all the hats. And so I learned so much.
Sure.
And so a lot of times when agents come to me and they want to hire somebody to make these calls for them, I'm like, they have to have some kind of understanding of how the calls work because you can't just go hire an ISA.
So then you're agreeing with, you said you kind of argue with that.
Oh, I thought you were saying like right out the gate, just go and you don't want to spend the money. Or if you want to spend the money, just kind of hire them.
No, I said the complete opposite. I said you don't want to go out and if you're brand new and you don't have the money and you're just getting started, you don't want to just go and just start hiring people to do stuff.
Okay. Okay, but, still, my point is, you really need to know and understand things before you just go hire it out anyways, no matter what it is. Don't spend a ton of time, but you still have to kind of understand how it works because that's how you build your business.
Yeah, how are you going to teach somebody to do something you've never done?
Well, exactly. There's a lot of good restaurants and hotels out there for the CEOs and that they hire and the managers. They make them start with the laundry or washing dishes.
Yeah.
Because they have to know how every single aspect of that business is ran so they can either A, improve it or B, at least know what those people go through so that they know, oh, this dishwasher can't step away and plate food. He has to stay on the dishes or the line's going to fall apart. So.
Yeah, otherwise you could hire a bunch of people and give them a whole bunch of tasks and then you overload them and then you don't realize how much you're hurting your business at that point too.
Here's something for you guys. What would you say to somebody who wants to kind of to that point where you want to try to learn every aspect of the job, but they want to educate themselves on every aspect of the job before they actually go and do the job or go. I don't want to go meet with somebody. I don't want to go getting in front of people because I don't know what to say yet. I don't know if they might ask me something that I'm not quite sure of, and I'm gonna look like a fool and like I don't know what I'm talking about because I can't answer their questions.
Yeah, or worry.
That's an excuse.
It is an excuse, and worrying about questions like, so what if they ask me how many houses I've sold? It's like, man, I've been asked that like one time in my entire career.
And if you are asked that, who cares? Just be honest.
Yeah.
Like I'm the big believer in just being just real with people and just be vulnerable. Like we're not trying to trick anyone into giving us business. We want people to want to give us their business. And so when you're sincere and people want to help people and give you opportunities if they believe in you.
Yeah, because they don't really know what they're up against anyways.
Right. And if you can sell them on the fact that you're not doing it alone and that you got support and you have help and that you're going to, be hungrier than the 20-year vet who's complacent because they've been doing this for so long and they're not looking at the outside the box because they're set in their ways. I mean, you could easily sell somebody on why using someone who's newer is better than using someone that's a vet, right? Just like a vet could easily sell them on why they shouldn't use somebody new. It just depends on your situation and this and the approach that you have to take. But figure out that approach. What if you get asked that question, then come up with an answer for it.
Yeah. Or go back to your mentor and say, I was asked this question, I didn't know how to answer it.
It's whenever I started in real estate, I was never scared of not knowing the answer, and other people shouldn't either because, otherwise you're spending hours upon hours, and then all of a sudden you're in real estate for 9 months and you didn't do anything. Yep. And now you're burnt out and you want to quit.
And you made no money.
And you're just listening to drama and reading news articles or whatever, and now you're out and you said it doesn't work. Now I lost my train of thought.
Well, I was going to say to that point though, that like if if you're worried about like how the conversation's going to go,
I remember.
you need to one, what are you worried about specifically? Like, is there certain questions you're worried about being asked? Number one, and if you know what those questions you're worried about are, come up with your answer to those questions before you go. And then if you get asked a question on the spot and you don't know the answer to it, again, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I actually don't know. Let me go. I'll find out and I'll get back to you. What's your number? What's your number? And I'll call you back. And there's nothing wrong with saying this. You know what? I'm actually new to this industry. And I'm here trying to grow my business. Let me go talk to my mentor. I'll get an answer and I'll call you back. When's a good time for me to call you back? How about tomorrow at 1:00? And then you better call tomorrow at 1:00. And guess what? You just showed your consistency. You showed you're going to follow through. You're going to do what you say you're going to do. And you got the answer, which means you have the support and you're proving so many things.
Yeah. What if you're the only agent who calls them back because they had other 3 seasoned agents who said they were going to call them and then they don't?
And that happens a lot.
Oh, of course it does.
It happens a lot.
Because they're complacent or too busy selling other houses.
And then you get
Also-
slow and wish you had called them.
Yeah.
Let me finish my thought. So it's instead of being so scared about not knowing the answer to everything, because sometimes people don't know what to ask and they don't know what questions are going to be asked in general to go ask their mentor. It's go out there. Fortune's in the follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
You are not going to convert a majority of your listings, even if you've been doing it a long time. You get better and better, but you're not going to be converting it on that appointment sometimes.
So it doesn't matter what knowledge you have.
It doesn't matter what knowledge
Because you're not going to convince them. It's a
still
great
use
point.
it to this day. And it's like, you know what? Now I have an excuse to follow up because in my mind, going to the appointment was easy, but it was more so the follow up and what the heck I was going to say to these people.
The follow up is where people
I have a purpose now.
mess up and they don't get the business. I'll go as far as saying this, like, why are we worried about the questions that people are asking when if they're asking a question, it means they don't know the answer either.
Right.
And it's a good thing.
You know?
And they trust you.
Yeah.
Well, and when you're calling the leads, like the guy says, call the damn leads, like you need a reason to call. And I think that's where people get hung up on, but that's like your job. That's what you got to figure out. Like, where are they at in the process? Right. So maybe it's that question they asked.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason for the phone call.
Yeah.
Then when you call them, you can start talking about other stuff. You need to have a reason to call them back. Hey, I'm just checking on you. Well, actually, you don't say I'm checking on you.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? Did you have a chance to fill out the app from the lender yet? I had this conversation yesterday. She says, you know what? No, I haven't. And because my husband's health is declining. We're packing. We're in our 70s. My husband's health is declining. I can't do that. Look at houses online. Think about that while I'm moving. So what we decided to do is we're just going to sell our house, put the money in our pocket, move to Oklahoma, stay with family, and then we're going to fill out the application and move forward. Okay, great. So now my next follow up is going to be how's the house sale going?
Yeah.
There's a reason for every one of my phone calls.
You just get information.
And you
from
got to
people,
think about it, even as long as I've been doing it, I still have to think about, okay, what am I even going to talk to these people about?
Oh.
Yeah.
But you got to figure it out.
I would go as far as saying that, like, I'm making up. No, I like to make up statistics and numbers, but I do tell people when I'm making the statistic.
Yeah.
up,
Well, it's to prove a point.
But I would guess if we did some kind of scientific study on what causes most people to fail in this industry, aside from just not doing anything.
Yeah.
Right. The people who actually show up and make an effort, they fail, in my opinion, because they are busy doing everything but money-making activities, educating themselves, learning the contract. Although the contract is a super important part of it. However, if you don't know every aspect of the contract when you're meeting people, it's okay, because my thing would be just don't contract anything without knowing the contract. And if you haven't read the contract and time is of the essence, then you better not contract anything without an expert by your side.
Right.
Yes.
And I always encourage everyone, I do think people should read the contract, read the listing agreements and the supplements and things like that.
I try to do it once a year.
It's so important to your your value as an agent, just your understanding of the contract. But that'll take a couple hours.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
so for me, in the beginning, it's hard because you got to know a lot. What I've learned to do is, and this is why being in the office is good, especially when you're new, because you hear someone talk about earnest money, like we were talking about yesterday. And that gives you a reason, you have a story now to relate to that paragraph, and that will ingrain that in your brain forever.
More than just reading something.
Yeah.
Right?
And so, but you got to, this is the problem with agents in general, is they don't want to invest in it. They just want it to happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work that way. I pulled up an article on lead generation ideas for real estate. And it's funny. So we teach ones that we know work and that get you in front of people. For sell by owners, because 80% list with an agent. Expireds, because they've already listed with an agent. They had a need to sell. Open houses, because people are out looking for homes. And networking, because you're building your top of mind and you're building your sphere over time. But this article doesn't say any of that stuff. It says optimize your website, create a real estate blog. Well, if you're new, you don't have anything to talk about. Use Google PPC ads, run social media ads, $0 to $2 per action. Host virtual open houses. You're not in front of anyone. And create engaging videos. Okay. Build social media presence. Okay. Engage in online communities. Leverage email marketing. Implement chatbots. Offer downloadable guides. Cross promote online. Use LinkedIn. Develop a mobile friendly website. All those things right there sticks you behind a computer and not in front of people who are buying and selling right now.
Mic drop.
So you got to be careful in what you read. That's why you want to do what other people are already doing that are working. That's why you see those same things over and over. Now, if you've gotten those things down, right? Like my sphere comes to me to buy and sell, my repeats, my referrals. If I need to go out and do for sale by owners, I can convert them. I still do open houses and I still pick up buyers. If I now want to do some of these things, I can.
Yeah.
If I want to engage or create a vlog or a YouTube channel talking about my real estate experience, I can gain traction with that because now I have things to talk about.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's why you need a coach. Don't go do those things yet. Hold tight.
Yeah.
Do these other things first. I've been reading a lot about this too. If you start any business on paid ads, you will never get away from it. And you will constantly be fighting the ROI on that because you started that way instead of started organic. You should always start your businesses organically. And
it's a relationship building industry.
And you have to be, I forget the statistic, but basically it was like, and there's a lot of real estate companies that do this. There's like 10 of these big giant companies that started, and only 3 of them are still in business today. And the 3 that are in business started their business organically, and the other ones are all paid businesses. And there's plenty of real estate companies out there that have started with a bunch of money and they will not be around in 5 years.
I will say that I do know some people who started with paid leads and they are very successful and they are around, but
not impossible. Sure.
They do have a hefty expense every month. But and I'll say this too. I do think that if the organic, that's what we teach. Organic, you want to know how to go get the business and not have to rely on something or someone else, right?
Or someone that clicks your name in Zillow.
Right. However, I do know some people that did start with paid leads and they were able to get out of it. There's only one way you can do it though. And it's very, very difficult, but you have to build relationships with every paid lead that you work with, and they have to become referral partners. Why that is challenging is because your typical lead that's going to come through a paid lead service is not going to be the lead that you necessarily are going to want to always work with unless they're constantly progressing and moving up in price point and things like that. And maybe if you find a way to buy paid leads in a certain price point, that might be good, but you have to turn them into make them part of your network so that they become a referral partner where they are referring you deals every single year, and or you get repeat business out of them to the point where you don't have to pay for leads anymore because you're getting enough referrals. You have to turn it into an organic.
And those are the people
business
that you want to work with.
Yeah, I had a- go
because
ahead.
you've made relationships with them. You know their families and their kids and what their kids' sports they're in and different things like that.
I had a realtor ask me one time. He came to the inspections and we're sitting there talking, and he's like, "Wait, you sold how many houses this year so far?" And I told him, and he's like, "Okay," and he knew I was newer, and he's like, "How are you doing that?" And I was like, "Well,
Let me show you.
yeah." So I started talking to him about it, and then he's like, "Oh, that's interesting." Basically, that's all he had to say. And I was like, "Well, how do you do it?" And he's like, "Oh, I get all my business from Zillow." Now, after doing a couple transactions with this person over the years, I know exactly why he purchases Zillow leads, because he has to, because he treats people very poorly, and he makes stuff up all the time and lies, and he's unethical, and it's like, so he's always chasing that lead.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
the only way. I guarantee that. I wouldn't see anyone ever calling him back and be like, "Hey, man, we're ready. Can you
Yeah.
help us?"
Yeah.
So
It's interesting.
He's in my on my poop list.
So you're not recruiting them then.
Oh, did you? No,
Not recruiting or doing
No.
a deal.
I don't even want to work a deal. Anytime I'm like, I wonder how I can get out of this showing. Should I lie to my clients and tell them they're
Yeah.
pending a contract?
Now you're the liar. No,
Right.
Don't do that. Obviously.
I do tell people though. I'll say, "Hey, like, I'm just letting, like, if
Let 'em
there are
know. Yeah,
certain agents
sure.
out there that I've got to warn people against, like, hey, look,
gonna
I'm
be
just letting you
difficult.
know this guy's going to be difficult. He's not going to give up anything, and he is going to be on us, the whole time, for no
sure.
reason."
Sure. Yeah.
So-
no, you can set expectations that way, and then it's their call at that point.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts from either of you before we do a would you rather?
No, I just want to tell the audience, like, just kind of like a recap, like, just make sure you guys are picking out income producing activities. If you don't know what those are, we've said some, look them up, find 2 or 3 of them, and then pick at least an hour to 2 hours every single day
To work on them.
to work on
And
it.
be patient with yourselves and learn
That is your
it.
main job. If you have 3 closings that day, you still better do your income producing activity.
Yeah.
Don't be the agent that does one open house and no one comes through, or one person comes through and they say, "I have a realtor," and then never do it again.
Yeah.
Yes. It takes
And any of
consistency.
those activities. And listen, we're speaking to the choir. I can't tell you how often I get busy and I fail to do the income producing activities.
Sure.
You know,
You're going to have
when,
things that slip through, but
when you're growing a business, you get to you have bottlenecks that happen, and you get to peaks where you've grown and now you're super busy, and it's hard to keep up with the income producing stuff, but you have to find your way back to it, or else you're going to continue to go through peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
You know, I pulled up a couple of would you rather.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Okay.
Using your phone.
Okay.
So thank you.
Using all my battery already.
I
No, I'm
know.
just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yep, did it on purpose. Okay. Would you rather have to swim everywhere you go or bear crawl?
what's a bear crawl? Like, I got to put my butt in the air?
Yeah.
I'll just swim.
Yeah, swimming is tiring though. Like, oh,
I'll be buff.
but it'd be fun.
Breaststroke.
It'd be fun. Yeah.
I know, but like bear crawling and my butt that high in
Yeah,
the
that'd be
air,
hard-
that
that'd
would
be harder.
my
Yeah.
shoulders would
You'd
hurt.
get really strong. Well, either way.
Either way.
No, swimming is a much better. It's better for your joints and
it's
your body.
and you get good aerobic
So
exercise.
let me ask
from
you
it.
this: if I just want to go down the street to grab a burger from here, I have to swim there.
Yes.
How? It's concrete.
We're in the ocean now.
Well,
we're mermaids.
it's a
I just
would
gotta
you
figure it
rather.
out. I just gotta figure it out.
No. Basically, you'd be it would be water. You're swimming there. Okay, man? Just pretend.
Okay.
It's either
Don't
you're,
ask questions.
you're
okay?
either gonna
You're swimming in the street, Casey.
I'd rather swim.
here. Just paint this picture.
Okay.
You're either bear crawling in the woods to get that burger down the street, or we're mermaids and
Oh, I'll mermaid all day.
yeah,
Well,
and then you're just swimming.
You didn't ask me that.
But you don't get
You're
it. No,
just
but you don't have a
swimming in the
tail. You do not have a tail. You have to use your. You got
Oh.
to swim regular.
But
like a
you could
human.
probably you could probably go get a burger, get a Krabby Patty, if you're underwater.
Krabby Patty, yeah.
That
I'm
just
actually
makes
going
it
to make
extra
those. I'm actually going to make them. There's all kinds of recipes online.
Okay,
Is it really?
Yeah.
here's one. Here's
Ooh.
one. Would you rather wear 3 hats at all times or never wear socks at all?
Oh, God, I'd have to wear 3 hats, dude.
Yeah, I know. My feet would stink too bad.
I just don't like that.
I would just
feeling.
wear flip flops. I'd pick no socks. I don't like things on my head. I just want to shave my head.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Would you rather only be able to whisper or only be able to shout?
Well,
Whisper.
We
I think I already.
loud enough.
Yeah.
I'd rather Brooke whisper.
Yeah.
No, hey, I do have a good one. Would you guys rather do income producing activities that is a 1 to 3% conversion ratio or a 10 to 30%?
Dumb question.
But tell
1 to
us.
3, easy.
Maybe do it the hard way. As long as I got to spend money doing it, I'm in.
Oh yeah, or pay some kind of hefty referral fee of 40%. I mean,
Or some sign-on setup fee.
Oh,
Give me all of it. Give me all of it. Okay, well, I think that's good for today.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we're going to sign off. Thanks for watching this video till the end. That will help the algorithm. So you have to
Keep saying that at the end.
Yeah. Next time I'm going to say it at the beginning.
Yeah, or maybe we probably shouldn't say it at all.
We're going to say it at the
based on our
beginning.
social media talk.
So like our stuff, comment, just engage. Okay, how about that? Engage. We need you to engage. Answer our questions. Tell us what your thoughts are. If you have a good idea on income producing activities, we'd like to hear it. Anyways, we're signing off.
Comment your favorite income producing activity. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
I would love to know actually.
Yeah.
What people are doing.
And we'll steal it. Okay, I'm Casey. This is Curtis, and this is Brooke. Message.
So long.